Welcome back, everybody, to the Boulderboys.show, episode number 50.
Ooh.
Half a century old. It's
a
beautiful.
milestone.
It is another milestone.
Dude,
Just clicking right
we
through.
should celebrate.
Although at this point, it kind of feels like we should have more than 50. I don't know why. We've been doing it for a minute.
I feel like because we've been so inconsistent early. Now we've been consistent. We've been more consistent.
Inconsistent in the last few weeks for a good reason.
For a good reason. We'll be more consistent
50
in the
is
future.
very good,
It's good.
honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's too bad we don't have anything cool to talk about on the 50th episode.
Yeah, too bad.
That's a bummer.
Mm,
No. I don't have any shout outs. Shout out to everybody who is
Shout out Drew.
Okay, Drew's not on this pod this week. We'll definitely get the whole rundown of him. But
Stay
shout
tuned.
out Drew for getting another W for the Boulder Boys
An insane dub.
in Italy. That race was sick. I unfortunately couldn't watch it, but I woke up early and saw like the results, and it was him and this Austrian dude like neck and neck
yeah.
with Noah
Williams. We're talking about Lavaredo 80K. by the way.
Lavaredo 80K, sorry. Noah Williams right behind him. I was like,
Which just
kind of tight.
another shout out. Noah Williams, 1 week after Broken Arrow, 4th place, crazy run,
Really?
turning around for
And he went
Lavaredo.
and did the double.
Yeah.
I was like,
The
dude,
double dip.
that's freaking
I mean,
good.
just the flight will let me so tired.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
And he did the VK before
That guy loves
Broken Arrow
racing.
46K. So shout out Noah.
Shout out Noah.
Must be all the pizza.
Must be.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, huge shout out to Drew. I know he has been dealing with a lot of injuries through the winter since honestly before UTMB, and I know he really wanted to win a race, so it was cool to see him pull it together.
Yeah. And he did it in a beautiful landscape, in a beautiful place. Dude. I know down the 80K, but that area is wow.
And he did it in a beautiful knit sweater.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, your boy was fashionable.
I loved how that knit sweater like debuted around the world on that day.
I thought for sure it was just a States thing, and then I saw Drew wearing it, and I was like, "Let's go!"
Sick.
Yeah. But they
Yeah.
didn't mention it. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's like they probably have to sign an NDA or something like that.
It's on the down low.
So I heard today that I guess the guy who developed it, which I knew this from people posting about it, but he had developed a singlet with that same exact material and pattern back in like the year 2000.
Who was the guy who posted that?
Somebody
again?
at
Was it Trail Cat?
oh, it was Trail Cat, yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Green. But apparently they were like trying to figure out what to do, and this guy was like, "Look, I had this design back in the day, and it like worked out." So
Dude,
like throw an ACG logo on it, and it's hip and modern now.
What's
Yeah.
old is new.
Yeah,
I ordered a couple for myself.
Sure
To
you
just to
did.
go to, you know,
are they
Rosetta,
for sale already?
Rosetta Hall. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I don't think they will be for sale.
fucking got me
Yeah.
again. You know.
I think that yeah.
Every episode, you know, every episode. But dude, can you imagine myself walking with Paquito, Pearl
I
Street?
can. I can.
Very
Dude,
fitting for
okay.
Boulder.
That's the thing. Like, as a running apparel, it was kind of like, oh, that's weird. If you were like walking around Pearl, everybody'd be like, it's kind of sick.
Is
you know?
it weird, dude? It's no more weird than Satisfies stuff. You know what I mean?
That's true. At least they're like not pretending moths made it.
That's
So
true.
what do you think, like, I don't know if you've talked to Drew or anything, like
I don't
how
know.
the weather was at Lavaredo, but like, do you think
think it was
Caleb
hot.
Olson's got like splotchy sunburns from wearing it at Western?
Looking like a leopard out
I
there.
didn't notice at the award ceremony.
Okay.
I didn't. Maybe it's got like, maybe we don't know. Maybe it has some like sun repelling barrier.
Dude, Nike Tech, you never know.
It's
You
true.
never know. Yeah,
Cool.
huge shout out Drew though.
Yeah. Set the
Again,
tone for the
Yeah.
weekend.
I know we're all shouting him out, but
Huh.
it is sick to see him throw down like that.
Yeah.
Also, the like workout he did before he went out, I didn't look at it until after the race, but
Oh, I didn't see it. What was
he just
this?
like worked out on Sunshine, like ran up to Poor Man's, hitting like 5:17 gaps. I was like, of
The boy's
course,
ready.
of course,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Did he get the CR on that again?
I don't know, but it
'Cause
was
I think he has it, right?
it was really good.
Oh, I know that segment.
I know it was that one that you were
Oh,
talking
that
about.
The
segment
one.
is a little painful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a 12 minutes or 14 minutes effort.
That's true.
good old Drew.
That's Drew's jam.
Yeah.
And also, like, one thing I kind of didn't realize about the Lavaredo course, but it makes sense. That thing's dense.
Dude, so much vert,
So much vert for like kind of no distance.
almost 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
and like 47 miles.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like nothing.
So
That's why I
crazy.
like the 120 or like the 70 miles. It's like a little bit, you get a little bit of more running in the beginning, and then the last part is the same.
Okay.
You guys will do it. We'll go next year probably.
It sounds like a fun race. Well, Seth's got
states.
maybe
again.
something on his calendar.
Yeah, unfortunately.
For anyone who
okay,
there's no way anyone who's listening doesn't know.
Are you going back?
I mean, the title will probably have it in it. Dude, am I going back? I'm not going to answer that now, but
That's a good answer.
yeah,
It's
I'll
not a
hold
no.
there. It's not a no. I mean, it's much further. I'll say this is like before the race, I just wanted to have a day so that I didn't have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had like kind of my worst nightmare before the race, which was like the day that requires me to come back. Like there's no way I'm not going back. And then the cherry on top was like, I don't know. I think like my wife has always kind of been like, oh, like, do you have to run 100 miles? Like, does it have to be like states? Like, it's hot. Like, what about this? And then she was pretty much like, no, we're going back.
Dude,
I love it.
yes.
Yeah, I feel like it has to happen.
Hell
I
yeah.
guess.
Well,
Yeah.
for anyone who might have missed it, you got 6th
I got 6th
at States
at Western
a few
States.
days ago.
Yeah, it was sick.
At the most, like from the outside, you guys are gonna tell the intel, but from the outside, what it looks like the most pure racing Western States ever. You know,
Yeah, I feel like
everybody was racing from the beginning until the end, and nobody was alone. Meaning there wasn't more of a gap of like I guess at the end to like the top 10 there was like a 50 minutes or an hour gap, but like first and 2 racing like crazy.
Yeah,
3 and 4, which was Killian and Jeff racing like crazy.
Yeah,
you were just there.
I was trying to hunt them down for a while,
and you were hunting down, and then you were also racing with
Dan.
Like everybody was in a battle at some point of the day, which it doesn't happen in 100 milers.
It's true.
Yeah, I kind of think that's just the way States at least is going to go forever and ever. Because I don't know, like we went out hard, I guess, at course record pace, but I don't think anybody in the top 15 was aware, and if they were, I didn't talk to them, was aware that we were on course record pace or that it was like hard.
The funny thing, dude, looking at your splits, because we didn't know what the splits were like when we were crewing, but looking at the splits, it was like, I mean, that's like fast, but not like insane.
Not any crazy. Yeah, people are doing crazy things now, so it didn't seem like.
Yeah,
but you guys all looked like in control coming through the sections.
Yeah, everybody looked so good.
It's easy not to second guess it when you're with everybody else. You know, I think if it's 1 or 2 people way up the road, you know, it's Jim 7 minutes in front of everybody at the escarpment, you're kind of like, I don't know, like if that were me, if I was 7 minutes in front at Robinson, I would have been questioning everything.
Yeah.
Okay, but so when you're, I don't know, 10 minutes up on course record at Robinson with everybody else, you're kind of like, this is, it feels normal. Like it doesn't feel scary, I guess.
I was watching the live and Jim was questioning the heck out of it. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I think they're running too fast. Like, and it's funny because at the end of the day, the record almost fell.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
But like a minute?
2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. And Caleb was 10 minutes under course record pace with like 15 or 20 miles to go, and then just like gave it all. I mean, like, you know, it's crazy. Like that, what he did was crazy, but like, yeah.
It just showed how good of a closer Jim is.
Oh, totally. And I do think like to maybe like credit to Jim, I do think we all paid for it.
Yeah.
In some way. I just don't think like I don't think we paid for it as much as maybe like you would have thought. You know what I mean? I mean, like you're saying, Caleb almost got the course record. It's like he was so far ahead, and he like didn't get the course record and like nosedived the last 10 miles, but it was like I don't know.
But it
wasn't that bad, you know?
But he won in an historically fast time.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we've seen Jim try to go for course record and stop at Forest Hill vomiting.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
I think Caleb's time was better than Jim's course record because of conditions over the last half. And I know Jim had a little bit more snow in 2019, but dude, it was a nice. I ran 2019. It was not as hot as it was.
Really?
Not even close to as hot as it was your year.
Yeah.
And we had all of Cal Street shaded before the fires.
Yeah,
dude.
So
that's a good point too.
I'll
Caleb's
give you
time
that.
doesn't blow my mind because Caleb's a really good athlete. But dude, that was one hell of a race.
It's so
That was
crazy.
crazy.
Especially with him and Chris like pushing each other within 2 or 3 minutes, like most of the race.
Mhm.
The whole day, dude.
Chris, I think maybe would have won if he didn't like take the time to put on a snorkel and go.
Dude,
go
I
for
love
scuba diving at the
that he
river.
did that. That was so
Yeah.
cool.
I can appreciate somebody who like has a funny idea
Dude,
and
and
sticks to it up
Did-
to the point that
so
you're in
Chris.
mile 80 of a 100-miler. And
did
you're
you
like,
guys
"That's
hear
still
the Iron
funny."
Fire interview with
No,
him?
I haven't watched it yet.
He was telling the story of like he had planned to do this. He wanted to like have fun with the race, and Eli was pacing him at that point, and they were coming up to the river, and he's like, Eli, like they're in second, and he's like, dude, are you sure you want to be silly? And Chris was like, yep. They put the fucking thing on, and like, and Chris is like, I'll have those photos forever. I'll remember that forever. It was totally worth it. And it kept the levity in the race,
100%.
and like he didn't lose any time. Like he lost what, like 5 seconds, doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
he
What
lost
a
any
legend.
time.
I mean, I can see it. Like, I feel like, maybe it's the same reason I like bleached my hair for the race, or like I think I felt it when we didn't stop at Rucky Chucky at the aid station. You know, it's like something that feels like you have
Yes.
like I don't know, you're having fun, or
The
you're
same
like
reason, like
on top of it.
I grew a mustache, or it's like
Yeah.
you don't take yourself so seriously.
Did you do anything fashionable when you did the?
Adam is
You were a new
fashionable.
dad, so it was.
I mean, yeah, you are, but like something different. You are also fashionable.
I don't think so. I was a new dad. That was my fashion statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, like Chris and Caleb racing all day is like super cool. I don't know. One question I thought that would be interesting to explore was like, I don't know, Matt and I were each with you, Seth, for like the last 40 miles. Like, but like, I don't know, let the people in like for the first 60. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, we want the play-by-play. I have no knowing of anything.
Yeah. All right, gun goes off. We start running. And no, but dude,
No.
honestly,
What did you have for
I have
breakfast?
so many. I had a bagel.
Okay.
It didn't sit very well, which was foreboding. I think is the word. Because I had a bagel. So this happened to me before half Ironman World Champs back in like 2017. Because I was super nervous for the race. Had some food. It didn't sit well, and the whole day, I was just like unable to take in food. Had the same feeling in the morning with my bagel, but it's like whatever. It's Western States. It doesn't matter that you can eat your bagel or not. And so we start the race, and like, dude, the tension was so palpable. Like you cut it
Like
with a butter knife or whatever.
In the corral?
No, when we started, I felt like the tension in the corral was chill, but just like everybody was so quiet and so focused. So I was like trying to get people to chat. Like I was chatting with Adam, and then like at some point I asked people like if they'd seen any good shows, because it was like super awkwardly quiet. I was like, what are we doing? We have 100 miles. Like, let's get talking.
Yeah.
And there was like only a few people who were entertained and like
also
able
only
to
a
talk.
few people that can talk going up the escarpment running 6-minute gap,
dude,
Yeah.
the gaps were wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, but kind of the funny thing that happened. So we're like running all together, super chill, and then like the moment you see a crowd, like certain people just started like booking it to try to be the first up to the escarpment.
Oh,
and it's
nice.
like, what are you
Who
doing?
is these people?
David Roche was the person
Okay.
specifically. He just booked it, and it caused like the first gap in the race. And it like stopped with me because I was like, I'm not doing that. And like Adam Peterman, McGavro was behind me, and it was just like we weren't gonna go with that. Dude, I took a donut hand up at the top of the escarpment.
They give you a donut?
Well,
There's
there's
a
somebody
big
just like a
box.
big box of donuts, and I was
No
like,
way.
I'll take one.
Dude.
And I just like I spit it out because I wasn't gonna actually eat it. But I was like,
It was
oh,
just
that'd
for
be
show.
fun. It was just for show. It was the same reason
Huh.
Chris put on a snorkel. I was like, oh, it'll be fun. Anyway, get over the top.
Dude, what flavor juice did
Yeah,
you
I
pick?
was.
What?
What flavor?
Oh, it's just a plain like
Glazed.
Old-fashioned?
glazed donut.
Oh, glazed,
Hey,
okay.
I
Yeah.
will
go
have a
wrong.
glazed donut right now.
It wasn't a full donut because that would have been like a lot. It was just like a
Little
little piece. But the escarpment was probably, I mean, it was one of the coolest moments of the race. I didn't really look back like people said I should, and
It's
I
hard to
should
look
have.
back when you're running, dude.
But well, and it was also hard to look back because the crowd was nuts. So I guess it's probably always been big. Like for Adam's year, it's probably big.
it was big, but it's always big, but it was bigger for
Well,
sure
'cause
this
this
year.
You guys
year-
were up there?
when I ran.
Oh no, but like this year you were at the Escarpment, or you
Just,
don't
like,
have time?
Saw the footage.
Oh, you okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because this year was the first year they opened up the tram to the top. So because normally people have to hike, but this year people just got a free.
I think that was new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
a
out
free ride
Hoka,
up to the
Hoka
top.
picked up the tram last minute for
Last
everyone.
Last minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't
unplanned.
believe it took them like 52 years to do that. To the race.
Yeah.
But
I
it
mean,
was
I don't know,
sick.
yeah.
There were so many people up there, and it felt like, I don't know what I imagine riding it like over the top of a climb in the tour or something feels like. Anyway, get going in the high country, catch up to the lead group.
Dude, were there snowbanks up there?
No, nothing.
Wow.
It was just wet,
That's wild.
dude. So
I was on snow the whole time, dude.
are you serious?
Literally for 25 miles.
Yeah, that would be. I think that'd be
It's
so
just
hard.
crazy how different.
It'd be so hard.
Yeah.
It's no, like just come piernas, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very come
Or like
piernas.
however you say skiing in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Esqui. I don't know. Isn't it? What's skiing in Spanish?
Esquiar.
Esquiar. Okay.
Skier,
Close.
dude.
I just said esqui. I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway,
you also say that.
yeah. Dude. So okay. So what Adam hasn't experienced is that trail is actually super como piernas or whatever.
Is
It's
it?
super technical.
Okay.
Like it's super rocky. Easily more technical than like anything at UTMB or
What?
it's like East Coast. Like it feels
Whoa.
super skinny trail, really rocky, wet, and just like a bunch of these rocks you step on, they roll, and the trail's constantly doing this, like
Perfect.
these off camber, like
Yeah.
up, and like each little off camber up is because you go through like a place where water's just running down the trail. So it was like, and I'd heard that before the race, like you're gonna get your feet wet, but I was kind of like, nah, like can't be that bad. But it was quite literally like just running through a river. Anyway, it's technical enough that early on, Caleb decided that he wanted to. David was leading at this point, and he wanted to like not give David a clear vision, and so Caleb
Nice.
put in a move, went up to the front, and started pushing the pace a bit, which is nice. But it was just still like so much tension up until
Talking or no talking at this point?
I was trying to talk, but it was tough. You had to focus. People were like, it was constantly yo-yoing. I was right behind Vincent, talking with him for a little bit, but it's just like the tension was so high and like the effort was so honest.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the first 10 miles was probably like some of the hardest we ran.
Kind of smoking.
I was like I remember I didn't feel that good. I was like, are we doing this like the whole way? Is this what happens? Like I'm cooked if this is it. And then immediately after the first aid station, we all go through. It's just like, whew, just like everything calms down. We start running like a normal pace, you know. But it was so quick that like I think I almost ran into the person in front of me, like, you know. But yeah, other than that, it was just like up until because I saw you guys at Robinson.
Yeah.
I didn't feel good going through the first cruise spot.
Duncan Canyon.
Got to Duncan Canyon. Carrion said I was like out of it, but it was mainly because I was just like trying to remember exactly what I was supposed to do at the cruise spot. Like I couldn't remember. But then after that cruise spot, I felt good. And
did you got ice right away there?
Yeah, I got ice band.
The ice bandana.
Yeah, they put on a wet hat.
Nice.
Super got super iced down, and the climb out of Robinson, we just again like everything pace went flat, and Rod was leading at the time, and it was just like kind of the whole high country just loose and kind of uncomfortable footing. And I was like, I kind of just want to see the trail, so I was like, all right, Roddy, cool if I take a pull, and he was like, yeah.
You downshifted on the hot rod.
I downshifted on the hot rod, and I get there, and I started running. I don't even know what that. I don't upshift, downshift. Anyway, dude, I get to the front and I start running, and I like hear Rod's like breath getting further away, and I was like, oh, I might as well like, you know.
So,
push
dude,
a
in
little
that
bit.
moment, did you feel like, dude, I'm bleeding, like Western States?
What
There
went
was
through
a
your
bit
mind?
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, I'm leading, but then the biggest bit was like, I kind of wanted just to string it out because we had a lot of. I actually thought about the whole mat thing, like getting rid of the junk. I was like, all right, we got to get rid of something. Like, this is kind of
There's junk
annoying.
in the front end of
Let's
Western States.
go.
That's crazy.
Look at this
I'm
guy.
out 24. It's like there's too many people. So I kind of pushed a bit there, and it worked because like Rod right before Robinson like sped up to catch me and like get into Robinson with me.
Really?
Yeah,
Caleb
You
did
guys
the
came in
same.
like shoulder to
Together,
shoulder.
Yeah,
That's-
I had a decent gap on him.
But that's crazy because I
like,
was
not long
watching like
before.
in the live, it just looked like he was trying to keep up, and you were floating up. Is this like a dirt road?
it was a single track.
Just the
onto-
last
To
little.
get out of Robinson was a dirt road.
out
Yeah,
of, but
like
this is
out.
into Robinson.
Okay.
Into Robinson,
Oh.
he like pushed to catch me, so that I don't know he would come in with me or something.
Yeah.
But that was so cool seeing you guys, and I was like, dude, I felt like at that moment at 50K in, I was like, this is my race to lose. Like I genuinely felt that. I was like, Killian's not running very well. Vincent's cooked. David's rolled his ankle like 4 times.
How you know that Killian wasn't running that good at that point?
I was just like, I don't know. Like I've seen enough videos of Killian to know when he's running well. He wasn't descending well, was the thing. And I was like, he kept like, I felt like he would climb really well, and then we were all in a line, and then the moment it started going downhill, a gap would form, and I'd be like stuck behind him, and I'd be like, what? Like,
Yeah.
go, like,
Yeah.
get up there. Like, I don't know, these little gaps happen, and the next thing you know, it's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I kind of like felt like it was my race to lose, and then coming out of the 50K point, I pushed and had like a little lead, and then I stopped to pee, and Chris and Caleb caught me.
We got to get you in split shorts, dog.
No, but it was actually.
Can any of you pee while you run?
Oh yeah.
No.
But that's why I don't wear half tights when I race, because you.
You can pee
Yeah.
yourself. I mean, whatever.
Well,
Okay,
but that's different.
That's another
It was
level.
kind of funny though, because like I stopped to pee, Chris and Caleb catch up to me, and they're like, "Oh, thank God!" And they both stopped to pee too. And
Hell
anyway,
yeah,
and
the
then I,
gentleman move,
and
dude.
then I tied my shoe and like threw out my back, or so I thought. I was like, "Oh no, this isn't how it goes." Anyway, loosened up all right. And then Hans joined us, and it was like Hans, me, Chris, Caleb going into Last Chance. And then right out of Last Chance, it was like, or maybe it was another crew
Miller's
spot.
defeat or something.
Miller's defeat,
Yeah.
which is a crew spot.
Oh no,
No,
that's
Dusty-
Dusty Corners.
Dusty
Corners.
Corners. It was us 4. Miller's defeat is where I went through, got iced, refilled the water, took a gel, and vomited, I guess. Or maybe it was Last Chance. I don't know. I get them confused.
Oh, so
Anyway.
like
It'd
you
be just
start
like-
having like vomiting issues early on.
Roughly mile 40,
40,
40s.
42.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, before halfway.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then shortly before that, before I actually vomited, is when Caleb and Chris went up the road. Hans went up the road. And then that was just me. And then I vomited. And then I ran a little bit further. And then I went behind the one tree I could find. And I took a little diarrhea. As it was so funny because actually Dan, and this is like way too much information. This is too much detail.
This is perfect, dude.
The people want to hear
This
it.
is what the fans
It
want.
was so funny. I was like behind the one tree because it's like drop off here,
Yeah.
steep thing here. There's like one tree right by the trail, and like Dan Jones, David, and Adam come flying by, and I was like, "What's up, guys?" Like as I'm like taking a turd on the trail, and then David, I just heard it, and David was like, "What was that?" And Dan was like, "Some dude's taking a shit behind that tree." Anyway, didn't see them for a while, but yeah, I don't know. And then kind of eventually just threw up again. Saw Jeff and Killian came by me, and I just like stuck with Killian until the bath time with Killian, which
Let's
is
hear it.
so.
The
All right,
bath
dude.
time.
So we're going down into the first, going down towards the bridge, which Devil's Thumb climb.
Okay,
But
yeah.
we're coming from the other side, which
Swinging
I don't think you guys
bridge.
do.
Yeah.
Which that bridge
Swinging
swings
bridge.
a little too much. I
Sure
didn't know it was
does.
swinging, and I got on. I was like, "This is a risk."
Oh yeah. Well, the name say it, so
Yeah,
you know that's the name.
I don't know. I didn't read anything, but dude, followed Killian down. Whatever. Rod's kind of coming behind us. This is, I guess I'm in Killian 7th. I'm 8th. Rod's like 9th, maybe. Get to the bottom, cross the swinging bridge, and there's this like creek runoff pool right there, which
Uh-huh.
you might remember. I don't know if you guys
It
do
was
that in
like
canyons.
darkish
It's all
and
dark,
like
yeah.
raining. Yeah.
Okay, fair. So there's a creek, and like Killian, like for whatever reason, he lays in this pool but he doesn't lay like down flat or on his back. He lays kind of like on his side, right? Like kind of like, I don't know.
Like take a picture.
Take a picture of me. I'm in the water and I like sit in the creek and Rod like also sits in the thing and he's like, dude, this is crazy. We're in this creek with Killian. And I was like, bath time with Killian. And then like all of us were just like, I don't know about Killian. He was probably like, these guys are annoying, you know? But both me and Rod were just like, we're going to remember this forever.
But Killian just like didn't say anything.
Killian, he like kind of chuckled. And then we all got up and then Killian just like took off. Like he climbed out of that thing. He climbed up Devil's Thumb so fast. I was like, he's just going to go win the thing. Like right now. Like, cause you can see most of that climb. It's switchbacky.
He gapped you that much?
Dude, he was like, I looked up and I was like, oh, he's like ahead of David in them. Like, cause I could see David in them. I could see Jeff.
Jesus.
And it was just like, he's gone.
Wow.
I thought for sure. I was like,
and you're very good at climbing.
Dude, I was climbing well. I dropped like raw, like I was running the whole thing and just gone.
Wow,
anyway,
kind of
dude.
crazy or not?
Yeah, especially at Devil's Thumb. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because he's such a steep, it's short but steep. But also like, I think he had it planned. He was like, I'm going to cool off
Yeah.
and then send it, you know?
It was probably his like move. It was like, it wasn't enough. Like, I think, I don't know. I think there's so like, because just looking at splits, he didn't climb like anything else quite that well.
Yeah.
After, but either way, get up to the top of that, go down the next one, pass Hans, climb up to Michigan Bluff, catch Adam. I get to Michigan Bluff and like, I come in and I'm like, yo, I just like puked, had diarrhea. And I'm like, all things considered, I feel pretty good. And then somebody's just like, oh, you look better than David. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, whatever. And I get my stuff. I run out of Michigan Bluff. And the camera bike guy was like, oh, there's two guys are right there. And I was like, oh, shoot, behind me? He's like, no, in front of you. And I kind of like crest over a hill and I look and there's like David and Dan just like going so slow. And I was like, oh.
Dan was having a low point.
Dan was having a low point between Michigan Bluff and Forest Hill.
Mm.
Dude,
to be continued on Dan, but
that is such a good shot of adrenaline and energy. Like when you see people, you are like maybe not feeling the best, but you see people like feeling worse, and you're probably like, ooh, money.
I was feeling pretty good. I just after vomiting, I just had to like feather everything. Like it was like if I felt good, I was like, oh, I can't like do too much with this, and it was like every little gel was like kind of like just feathered. Like it felt so like I felt like I was gonna blow up at any moment.
Was there an Amex flavor you were preferring? I couldn't tell what you were eating.
No, it was just
whatever.
Yeah. Oh, the one only because it was the last thing I had before I threw up, the caffeine one.
Oh,
but I don't think it had anything to inherently to do with that.
The caffeine one is like
the Cassis.
It's kind of tough.
It's a little rough.
Yeah.
And turns out
even on a
all
fresh
Amex has caffeine in it. So
yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we found out the night before.
We don't know how many milligrams, but it just has it. Dude. Anyway, I don't know. Caught past David, past Dan, and I was like,
"You're in fifth."
I'm in fifth. I thought I was in fourth because I forgot Jeff was up there actually. And I don't know, came into Forest Hill and I was like, I'm just gonna go catch the podium because I thought there was no way that Caleb and Chris were gonna stay under 14-hour pace, which I was right. I didn't realize I also was gonna just implode as well. I didn't think about that one, but I was just like, dude, I think I'm just gonna catch them. And I thought, just off last time I'd seen Killian, I thought he was just gonna go, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, caught Matt. And
well, no, you caught me at Bath Road first.
Caught you at Bath Road.
And
that's when I was like, I need Coke.
Yep. We got the little like beta on the aid station. Yeah. But you were like, dude, there's no way that Caleb and Chris look good. And I was like, dude, don't worry about them. But I was like, they do look good.
They look really good.
Knowing what I know now, what do you say?
You're like, forget about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, they look. I'm knowing what I know now. I'm like, they definitely seeing videos. I'm like, they look too good.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
When Caleb came through, I was like, oh my god, something like serious is going on here.
Because I felt like I was cooking.
Dude, you were.
But they were like, whoa.
But he had an extra burner, you know.
They just had a gap already. You know, you all looked like similarly good.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got you on Bath Road right into Forest Hill.
Got some intel, or gave you some intel with nutrition. My dad almost got ran over by a car.
Oh no!
He had come halfway up the road to run with Seth. You know, he's like, he doesn't do this. He's like running in the road, like
Yeah.
on the yellow line.
I also was
On
thinking,
the yellow line.
I was thinking it's probably confusing because the road where the cruise spot is like kind of blocked off.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he realized that turned into like the main Forest Hill Road.
Dude, such a
Because
special
at some point
moment.
he's like running, and I think you were like, David, Mr. Ruling, get over here.
Come on over here. Come on over here.
And I was like,
run
Dad,
with
get
him.
over. There's a car coming.
But
Like,
it's so sick. Seth's dad is like dude, he's done like Pikes Peak Marathon.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
done a ton.
He did the Broken Arrow 23K.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Badass.
Yeah. Does marathons regularly. So yeah, he ran with me for a little bit. I don't know. Came through Forest Hill, picked up Matt. And I think one of the mistakes I made is I told Matt, I was like, I think I was too scared of blowing up, which happened anyway. That I told Matt, I was like, this is all I have. I'm not going to push any harder. Like, I need, like, because I was so scared that I would, like, feel, because I was feeling it. I was so scared I'd, like, push too hard down to the river and then, like, just fall apart going up Green Gate.
Dude, totally reasonable
And
feeling.
I think had I known how the day was going to go, I might have pushed to try to catch up with Jeff and Killian, because I think that could have dragged me along a little better.
It's a weird fine line because like I had looked at historical splits for the section we had run, and I was tracking those splits compared to what we were running, and for probably 75% of those splits, you were like 30 to 45 seconds faster than like what Hayden was running last year when he ran like a really good split through there.
Yeah.
Like I think there was a climb mile on that
Yeah,
where Hayden ran like 11 something, and you clicked off a 9:53 or something like that. And I was like,
up that road?
we didn't walk a step.
That
And so
is crazy.
I think the only and we had gained because when I picked you up, I think you were like 4 minutes off of Killian and Chris, and then when we got to Cal 2, they had told us we were only 1 or 2 minutes and 3 minutes off of them.
Yeah.
And then I think we had some stomach issues in that.
Some
So
stomach
that
issues.
But
had a
to your
little
point, like
section.
even when you got him to me, we were on sub 14:30 pace, no problem.
Well, so that's what I was going to say. When I dropped you off, you were only 12 and a half minutes off of course record pace. So you were still
14:20 something.
Yeah.
You like, how are you going to push off of that in your debut?
Yeah, you were
100?
pushing.
You know what I mean? Like, you were pushing.
Yeah,
You
I was
were running
trying so
fast.
hard.
The crazy part is that it didn't feel like pushing for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sure did for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's the thing. Yeah. It just felt like, well, by the time I got to, because I ran Green Gate all right, like the climb.
Oh, you ran great up Green Gate.
And then
yeah.
by the time I got Adam, it was like, got to Adam, it was just like, this is like,
Green Gate is so fucked though, dude.
it's going to take so much for me to.
is- everybody feels like that.
It's after the climb after the river.
It is
right?
Yeah,
the climb after
yeah,
the river, but
yeah.
it's like totally
Also,
exposed.
Before we get to Green Gate, I love watching Matt crossing the river like military style, dude. He like lay back and took the cord like
Oh, he
this.
did?
I did, but let me tell you why I was doing that.
It looked very pro
That
though. It
was the
looked
move.
very pro.
It was because Hayden was like in the river sitting on a rock and yelling intel to me, and I couldn't hear, so I had to like turn around. You know how like have you
Oh,
problems?
yeah.
I had to like turn around and like read his lips and focus on what he was saying to get the
Okay.
splits. And he
Oh.
was like telling us that Killian had just left less than 3 minutes ago.
Nice.
That's
And
right.
so, but he must have booked it up the Green Gate climb, Killian, because
Dude, they were not
He
that
put-
far.
he put 8 minutes on you by the time you got to the American River aid station. And that was not,
that just makes a lot of sense.
it's just crazy what he
Based
must
on
have done
how
from the
fast I
river
was
to the
moving
American River.
between
Yeah.
us.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you look
But yeah,
very
I
pro.
appreciate it. Thank you.
That's
And
amazing.
I was watching with Kirsten and I was like, there's Matt military style, you
But
know, like just like walking
Also
the
great,
river.
great cooling.
Oh,
You
it
know,
was-
Yeah.
I
was
bet
amazing.
or not.
I
Yeah.
needed it, dude. I made the wrong move and went all black because I thought it looked cool.
It looked cool.
did-
It was so
did.
hot, dude. I was dying.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dude, I didn't find the river as cold as I was
Nah.
wishing, which is
Yeah.
the thing I was scared about the whole day. I was like, oh, I don't want to get in the cold water. It just like wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
how hot were you feeling
Dude, okay. I said this
before we get to the final
yeah,
part? But
I said this earlier today when somebody asked, I was like, I didn't feel that hot at all the entire day. There was not a moment when I got ice, there was never a moment where it was gone. The ice was gone. Because like I think what I didn't realize, which is cool to know, is that every aid station has ice. So like for the most part, once it actually got hot, I would just go to the aid station. I had a double side, like front back bandana bib
A
thing.
quadruple side, dude.
Dude, it had stuff on the side. Okay, y'all's crew was the only ones that were putting it.
You had to feather each ice cube into the slot, but yeah.
You had it like for half an hour, just
One by one.
And by the time you get it all done, it's melted, so you have to do it again.
Yeah.
Those were good.
It worked though.
It
It seemed to work.
It worked. But
It's like a bib, kind of.
Yeah.
it
ice
looked
bib.
exactly like a baby bib.
Yeah.
But dude, like, no matter what, like all through the day, like I always had a little ice there. So
That's
even actually
amazing.
in the river, one thing I noticed is my hand that didn't have a bottle would start to get hot, and I would just like touch it,
Mm.
and it was like felt cold again, and it like I feel like it sent something in my brain that felt cold.
You
but
never-
like I can't imagine like not having an ice bandana, not like doing the full thing. Did you have an ice bandana?
No.
Yeah, that would be super
Yeah.
hot because I was like I had something very cold on me at all the times.
Dude, you were clinking like the whole time I was with you, constantly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So like it lasted.
Dude, I
That's
fell
pretty
asleep to in my dreams.
I bet.
It was miserable. Yeah, great little.
We'll have
The-
to circle back after the race recap on like what was your heat training strategy before, because like clearly it worked, you know.
Yeah.
Because by the time you picked me up, it wasn't that hot.
Yeah. But no, dude, I do need a shout out. I don't know if you listen to the pod. Tom from the accessories team at TNF. Just like, I don't know. The TNF accessories team kind of got a little behind on my bib, ice bandana. I didn't really communicate fast enough. Feedback. Dude met me at work 2 days in a row. Like met me in the parking lot of a hospital from Denver just to show me a bib, and I'd be like, change this, and he'd drive back. And the next day, drove the next morning with like a newly stitched version.
Shout out Tom.
Yeah, it's
It
cool.
takes a village.
Tom was a
Yeah.
legend, dude. And it was just stuff I'd like be like, oh yeah, can you meet me at work? Or like, can you meet me in this random FedEx parking lot? Because it was just where I was close to at the time. And
Wow,
he was like super clutch. So
going the extra mile,
shout
man.
out Tom.
That's
Yeah.
what it, that's what it takes, you know.
That's what it takes.
And it was like sweet. It worked. But dude, got
Also,
Adam.
shout out Olivia, who made my ice bandana.
Dude, okay.
Also worked.
Huge shout out to Olivia because Olivia, last minute, I was scared I wasn't going to get ice bandanas from TNF. I asked Olivia to make some, and no hesitation, made like 4 bandanas.
They were great.
They were great
Yeah. I
bandanas.
was wearing it just hanging out.
Way
like,
more capacity.
Oh wow.
Or
Yeah.
just a ton of
Good.
capacity.
yeah, it was kind of
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, they look good.
They look cool.
They're
Yeah.
super cool. Like
Low
I
key,
might
I
bring
kept
them.
mine low key.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you guys can like let me borrow one.
I'll let you borrow
for a
one.
weekend
They're sick.
training.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's got a sweet little side ice pocket thing. Super good. And I know Olivia, our friend Olivia, she's like done ultra races through hikes. She like kind of knows her way around an ice bandana, and she's like makes clothes. So has a nice company, Lightfoot. Anyway, gotta shout her out. Anyway, super helpful, super grateful. It was like I got those, and it was kind of like, well, if TNF doesn't pull through, it's like these are gonna be spot on. So
Yes.
had a good team behind me.
So Green Gate.
Oh, Green Gate. Got Adam. Not bumped into Adam. He literally picked me up.
But one little thing you didn't know, which is like it's so funny when you're running, you don't know like what the crew's doing. It just seems like, oh, everything worked. Next one. Dude, I had forgotten my bib at the car. I had everything else. We get to Green Gate and I was like, I don't know my bib.
Oh my god.
no.
And so Vic, I was like, dude, can you like run back and
God
get it?
Bless his soul.
Vic like sprinted from Green Gate aid station up that dirt, sun exposed road. And it was like, all right, like I'm going to ask the aid station captain if I can just switch with Matt, like if that's okay. And they ultimately said it was fine. So like Vic didn't make it back. And so when you guys came in, I was like, Seth, they're right over there. And I was like, Matt, take your bib off. I need it, you know? I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I
Did you
had
put
no
it in?
idea.
I just put it on. Yeah.
I had no idea. And also, I didn't know who was all there.
Yeah.
I assumed just everybody was there.
Good. I'm glad you didn't notice,
Yeah.
man.
That's crazy.
We had our shit together, you know?
Yeah. Hey, it happens to the best of us,
Always
you know.
something. I mean, dude, I
Yeah.
showed up to the start of a race without a bib last year. So it happens. I don't know. Dude, it was everything I could do after Green Gate to like run normally.
You said the same thing to me.
This is all I have.
That you said to Matt, this is all I have. And
Yeah.
what you had was really good.
Yeah, which the thing
was
is,
like,
I think
great.
at that
Keep
point,
doing this.
I think
I was like, okay.
yeah, I think at that point that was all I had. like quite literally, because I just remember like so much of that. I was just focused on like the muscle movement of running because that was getting harder, and I was just trying to like stay focused on like actually like having a stride. And towards the end of like, I started to like feel bad, and I just started like trying to do shorter, faster stuff, like steps. I don't think that really helped. Anyway, I was running well ish. I was kind of starting to slow down quite a bit, actually.
Dude, okay, so just to get a little more color, I was fresher than you at this point. The first 8 miles of my pace, Seth was hitting sub 9s the whole time. And I was like, I almost said this. I didn't, which is good. I didn't. I was almost like, man, this is going to be the easiest pace I've ever done. You know, because it was like, you're just cruising. And I asked, like, dude, do you want to talk? Do you want me to, like, say stuff? Do you want to just stay locked in? And he's just like, I just want to stay locked in. And I was like, great. Yeah. So I was just right behind him, like, but he was just rolling, like, running every climb, flowing. I would remind him to eat. He'd eat. It was like so easy.
Yeah.
Everything's going great.
And I think at that point, that one thing did mess with me. And actually, like, I feel like these people meant super well. They were great. But those people with the horses had bells. Do you remember this?
I didn't notice
and we heard
that.
them.
You were hallucinating, dude. That didn't exist.
We heard them cheer. And I was like, okay, like I'm pretty close to
the aid station.
The aid station.
Yeah, it's at the top of that climb before you get to ALT.
Little switchback climb.
Yeah.
And the aid station's actually like
a mile
or 3.
2. Yeah, 2 miles.
I think it's quite a ways.
Yeah.
And we get to them, and it's just two ladies, their horses.
I could tell you were
with
pissed.
Their
actually,
bells,
now that I'm thinking about
and
it.
I was just like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like, I don't know. The aid stations were like in my head, nice little.
They're helping
things, and I knew that like ALT was like 85 miles or something, and I was like, and my watch was off all day, so I was just kind of like.
His watch was like really off all day. Yeah.
I
remember when I was
which is normal. Like we finish runs and Seth has to ride, like
to run around the house for a little bit. Dude, so I think that put me off a little bit, and I started running slower. Dan Jones passed me.
Okay, let me say this part though, because I told Seth, I was like, dude, he kept looking behind him, and I was like, I don't want to roll an ankle, so I was like, dude, don't look. Like I'll look, and I was like half running off the trail trying to like look behind and see. So every time we'd have like a big switchback, I would look, and no one, dude. Like we would have at least like a 30-second gap minimum with like sight line. So I was like, dude, we're good. And I didn't hear the horse bell behind us, but you like go into another canyon. So I was like, maybe we can't hear it. Dan and Cole were fucking stalking us, dude, for sure. Like, and he's a gamer, dude. Like
he is.
I talked to Cole after the race. Did I tell you this?
No.
He was like, yeah, dude, like we heard you come in to what was the aid station before ALT? Like we went through one aid station and he was like, dude, we could hear you. We heard like the cheering, and so they like knew they
I think
had
it was
us.
the horse people. There was nothing before ALT.
It must have been that. Yeah. So then they were like, we kind of like waited and then pushed like really hard. So dude, the fucked up thing was, because like I didn't want this to happen. It's exactly what happened. I turned around to like check again after having not seen anyone the entire time, and Dan was 15 feet behind me with this smirk on his face, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like in a nice way, but he was just kind of like, gotcha. And I was like, fuck.
It was just like, we're just running. We're just running, and I was like, all I hear is, all right, watch out, dude. Dan's right behind us. I was like,
that's not how you want it to go. You want to give him like a chance to like push.
You want to be able to be like, push a little more.
Yeah.
They may be catching up, you know?
Yeah.
But you're like, can you move?
But the thing is, like, at that point, I didn't even care.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, like, Dan passed me, and I was like,
dude, let's stick with it, you know? It's like Dan's surging hard, you know? It's like,
which, knowing what I know now, he was running hard because he later wasn't running very, very quickly.
We saw on the tracker that Dan had just passed you, and like the gap in like just a few miles had changed significantly. And at that point, Karian was like, Matt, like, get ready. Like, we need to have some, like, you need to have some sort of pep talk ready for Seth. Like, bring him out of the dead.
Yeah. Anyway, that might have got, in hindsight, that might have gotten to me, but I feel like my legs were already not working. And then when that happened and I realized how much I didn't care, I was kind of like, my legs aren't moving. So I started walking. Got to Hal's aid
Which
station.
is a normal feeling in a 100-mile race.
Yeah. I got to Hal's, and it was the downhills that hurt the most.
We walked like almost a mile into Hal's aid station.
Yeah.
Not
And-
good.
Uphill,
And Adam-
downhill, flat.
Downhill
Down,
and flat.
yeah.
Just trying to like
Every flat, Adam would be like, "What about here?" And I'd be like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh." Like 4 steps and just be done.
Yep.
Dude, and that aid station already feels like it takes forever to get to. For
Yeah.
some reason.
it does,
Yeah.
dude.
Like
Quarry Road.
Quarry Road is a tough one. Is that where Jared
That's where the Jared Hazen
the Jared
happened
came from? Yeah.
because he
Dude,
sat down.
And I was pulling out everything, every like
Mm.
motivational thing I could. Told him like Arthur's rooting for you. Told him Drew walked here. Drew blew the fuck up. His deer got third right here. You know, like it's okay.
Yeah.
Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah.
I blew up there.
Yeah.
I just stopped. at
Probably,
House Station.
honestly, probably a lot of people walk there.
That's a
in
tough-
the top 10.
Yeah.
It's probably true, but it was funny because at some point Adam was like, "Let me ask you a question. How much do you care about top 5?" And I was like, "Not at all."
This is before
I
Dan
was like,
got
okay,
us.
what's next?
That was before Dan got us. I was like, "I don't care about anything."
Well, okay, but the reason I asked you that is because when Matt came in and I got his bib, he was like, "Dude, I told Seth that in 90 minutes you're gonna like push him," and that was 90 minutes in,
yeah,
and I was like, "Okay," like I asked,
that was unpushable, dude.
but dude, you were like already running so good that I was like, "How much do you care about catching Killian?" Because
Yep.
you're running good, and you were like, "No, I don't really care." And then I was like, "How much do you care about top 5?" And you were just like, "I can't get my mind around it."
yeah,
So
the only
it's
I feel like
delicate, dude.
the only motivator at that point was to be done.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it was like nothing and as quick as possible. And I like didn't care if I had come up on somebody, that probably could have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead it was the other way around.
Dude, tell him
Um,
about Hal's aid station.
Dude, Hal's was sick because I got in and I was squarely like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna have my time, I'm just gonna like relax and like, you know what?
None of
Happens
which
to
we
everybody.
talked about.
I'll get up and I'll get going, you know, at some point once I have some. I get in there and like I start to go towards the chair and Hal's pretty much like, all right, yep, how you doing? Okay, let's and kind of like hand on my back and I don't know if he actually touched me, but like Adam's like getting Coke and stuff. Somebody's filling up my bottle, I think. With the goo Roctane, which I had completely trashed the night before, saying goo's terrible and ran the whole
Only
race
thing
on
that
goo.
worked.
I
So-
actually loved the Roctane drink.
And to Seth's
Dude, it
credit,
was-
the grape
it's
flavor
very
is
good.
good.
The grape flavor is pretty good. It was
Yeah,
definitely
My
diluted
favorite.
Yeah.
a ton,
Yeah.
but it was very tasty. Anyway, I just felt like it was so funny because like I'm just like I can't. And I was like, yep, we've all been there before. All right, you're gonna keep on going. And at some point, I was like, no, I want to. He's like, nope, just keep walking down that road and just gonna like.
He knows.
And
Yeah,
it,
dude.
it was just kind of like a huge part of me was like, well, Hal's telling me to do this. Like I'm doing it. You
Yep.
know, there's
Yeah.
no choice.
Hey,
We had a boat of potato chips and a
Good.
Coke, and I was like,
Good.
dude, we're just going for a sunset walk. Like,
Yeah, we started talking.
let's walk rather than sit, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, I had I had like 2 chips.
Yeah.
You were loving those chips though.
I was eating the chips, you know?
Yeah.
The
The Coke went down really well.
Coke went down.
We just were walking, having a nice, and I kept looking at my watch and being like, man, this is gonna take so long if I walk from here.
Yeah.
And we heard a rattlesnake.
Well, before the rattlesnake, you were like, I was like, dude, like, let's run. Like, let's get back into gear. And you were like, dude, I might just walk into a 10 spot, you know? Like, I
Yeah.
might just walk into the top 10, like walk the rest of the way.
Because I'd walked so long and no one had passed me. I was shocked.
I was shocked too. I thought we
They
had
were
like,
so far back, dude.
which we didn't know till
Like
the end of the race.
It was good. I didn't.
So far.
It was good. I didn't know because if somebody had told me,
yeah.
oh, you have an hour and a half, I would have waited an hour and a half at Hal's. You know?
least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How wouldn't let you though?
No. You would have been like, yep, you're gonna keep going. It was so funny. Actually, I don't even know if that's how he sounded, but that's how I remembered it. It felt like a nice, welcoming, like, yep, glad you're here, but you got to move on out, kind of thing.
Yes.
Anyway,
Dude, the
Dude.
rattlesnake was the turning point.
saw that we heard a rattlesnake.
In the grass 3 feet from Seth.
No.
We're
Yeah.
just running and it was like, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and some dude was like, "Oh, it's a good omen" or something, and you're like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Well, you had a good race," and I was like, I'm still racing." And the trail started going uphill. I started running, and I don't know. It was like, I wish I'd had that the whole time.
That was
'cause I
it?
just started like,
You ran the rest of the race.
and I felt like I wasn't like just running. I was like cooking. It felt like I don't know if I actually was,
You were?
but it felt
were,
like I was
yeah.
flying.
You
And
ran.
I think I was. I was running faster splits than anybody in front of me.
Dude, he ran that whole
Climb up
shit
into
ass
the
climb
highway.
into Pointed Rocks.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, was like, dude, you're almost done. No one else is going to run this. He ran the whole thing.
That's incredible.
And then coming out of Pointed Rocks, ran 7:30 pace down to the river.
That's crazy.
Over that like broken ass trail.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was all prepared to give you like this like big pep talk and everything when you rolled into Pointed Rocks. And he said two things as soon as you rolled in, which first of all, you rolled in faster and looking better than anybody else who came in. So I was really confused what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
I was like, did he get lost or something? Like we had no idea, right?
Mhm.
But you roll in and you're like, I'm not dead yet. And the whole crew was just like, yeah. And then everybody's like taking care of you. And I'm just standing there like, what do I do? I was supposed to give him a pep talk. And you just look me dead in the eyes and you're like, I'm going to finish this thing faster than you or Drew. I got to get to the finish. And I was just like, God damn it.
I felt bad like the entire run down to the river. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Like that was,
It was great, man. It pumped me up.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It was funny.
Yeah.
Dude, the rest is
It
just
worked.
how it went. Ran
No,
up
that is
Robinson.
not how.
I don't
The
know.
last mile was epic.
So, Well, so Seth ran every step of Roby Point
That's crazy.
at the end of states, which not a lot of people can say they've done.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude,
yeah.
Okay, but the one thing that shifted is I was wanting Caleb's intro debut time.
Yes, that was a goal for us.
That was a goal. That went out the window halfway through my walking experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but you were way under that up to that point.
Yeah, because he was
Honestly.
here in 1440 or something.
Yeah.
The next thing was that I didn't think was like quite reality until I got to Pointed Rocks was running under 15.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know. I felt like I could get it easy, but then my watch was off and we get to the bridge and it's like, I have this amount of time. And I was like, no big deal. And then I get to the road running with you guys. And I was like, dude, I had like 10 minutes to go at the bottom of the climb. And I was like, easy, like no big deal. I'm going to cook it by like a few minutes, you know, because it's only like 1.2 miles, but
Yeah.
I guess half of that's like straight uphill. And I get to the top and I'm like, I got it easy. And then somebody was like, oh, you only have like 5 minutes with like, I don't know, 0.8 miles to go, which feels like pretty fast for that.
Yes.
Anyway, so I just started running. Well, I felt like I was like sprinting, but I looked at videos and I looked like I was just jogging out there.
Well, I'm curious because, like, I think I know the answer, but like, I was telling you that we could do it and kind of pushing you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, from before Pointed Rocks on the road, I'd
Mhm.
whisper to you, I'd be like, dude, like, you got to push a little harder if we're going to get this. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm already trying as hard as I can. And then we'd get like a cheer and you'd run like 45 seconds per mile faster. And I was like, see, I knew you could go faster. Let's go. Let's go. Like, I was like pushing you, but you had to rush. Like, you didn't get to like enjoy everyone
Mhm.
like as much as you could have on the road. Like, are you happy about that track experience? Like, you got
Oh,
it.
100% worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were-
Yeah.
we were like, it's got to be for the pictures. Like, there's got to be a 14.
Yeah.
in the
I remember
pictures.
somebody saying that there's gonna be a 14 up there for the photo or
Yes.
something. Dude, it was when I got to the track and like I was pretty sure I had it, but it's still like weird to know how much
Dude, it
time
was
there
close.
is.
Well, because I was like, you have it, but until we see the clock, it's like maybe my shit's a little off. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're like less than a minute, away.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
at some point you were like, you're going 520 pace, which I felt I was like,
You were.
that's pretty
Yeah.
good
Look
at
at your
the end of
Strava
this thing.
file. I think it was
dude, in
5:15.
the live, it looks
Yeah.
like you guys were flying.
That was
You-
my dream, dude, was to come on the track with somebody and out kick them. But now I feel like I could have. But instead I was going for sub 15. But it was I feel bad for the people wanting high fives because at some point some people were like quite literally on the track and I kind of like waved them off because I was like, dude, I'm working here. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But
which is fair.
it was super worth it. The sub 15 is cool. And
So cool,
I
dude.
think yeah, it was definitely worth it. And it was like, I don't know, could give high fives after the race.
Yes.
So,
That was such
but-
a special finish, dude.
that was a story.
Yeah.
There was a lot of running and mind numbing.
Matt and I both cried at the end.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like a little baby.
It's on the video. It's on YouTube or
You don't have to tell the whole world.
no, it's good. It was beautiful. But it's fun. Yeah.
Dude, we're so proud. Honestly, you did something epic that day.
It was good.
Honestly, with a good 100-miler, with a good low, coming out of the low. Like if everything was like easy, it wouldn't like be
Yeah.
realistic. Like,
Yeah.
and you like put it together and finish so strong.
For
And also,
sure.
when you guys were finishing, the light was so beautiful.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
the sunset light, it was like the best. like if you want to finish Western State and have good pictures, finish just before 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Dude,
Yeah.
it was so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
light and all of you running and carrying there, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
so proud. You did something epic.
Super
And
nice.
you will have won like almost any edition.
Yeah.
Out of the 52, you won like I don't
47?
know, 47 of
Something
them.
like that, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever, Jim.
Dude, one cool thing to see, because I don't think you got to see this because he was like rolling your whole pace. Dude, I know I was like telling those stories, but you are the only one who ultimately like decided to run each of those times that you picked it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking hard to do. Like
Yes.
to switch from like, dude, like I've had a good race. Like I gave it everything I had to like, I'm racing again and like you ran for 10 miles and that is a long time,
Yeah.
like at the end of the race. And so you should be so proud of that, dude. Like, and it should give you a lot of confidence for future races.
Yeah. No, for sure. I was pretty proud at being tough because I don't think I've always been tough like that.
It was sick,
So
dude.
it was cool to see or cool to experience.
And I couldn't believe the gap behind us, dude. It was a freaking hour.
It was an hour.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, I was in doping control with your boy Killian. We were chit chatting
Yeah.
actually.
What was he saying?
We were talking about the race. Talking about talking during the racing. Talking about
Did you remind him
making
about the path?
moves. I did. He thought that was funny. I don't know, just chit chat. Anyway, but I was in drug doping and heard cheers, and we were like, "Oh, that must be the first lady," but it was like the next person coming in. Which, like, dude, shout out to Ryan, who was
Yes.
7th. Yeah, great,
Killer. Come from
race.
behind.
Come from behind. And Hans for sticking it out. When I passed him, he looked so bad, and I was like, "Dude, you have to keep going." And sure enough, he did.
Yeah.
So it's good to see. I don't know who else. Oh, Hiroki Kai.
Yeah,
Peter
Frano
Frano
Peter
was
Frano.
there.
Peter
Yeah.
sat at the aid station at Forest. I think it was Forest Hill. I heard for like 40 something minutes trying to get his feet fixed,
Are you
Ooh.
serious?
and got out of the top 10 and clawed his way back in.
That's
And
crazy.
ended up, what was he? Ninth?
Ninth.
8th? 9th?
Yeah, because in
such a tough
Hiroki
kid.
Kai,
Yeah.
you can watch it on YouTube, I'm sure, right now.
Yeah, probably.
If you want to see what the States course is like.
A lot of people I mean out of this group in the beginning, some people fell back, but not many people really didn't finish, which is crazy.
One crazy thing, dude, Hiroki Kai was with Abby like for the first part of the race and ran up into 10th.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people did.
Well, Abby almost did too.
No, I know, but like
Yeah.
a lot of people did blow up or drop out or
Yeah.
I do think there was quite a few people with us in the high country, just looking at pictures and stuff, that blew up like by the second aid station kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Wow.
There was a lot of
okay.
blow-ups from people that you never heard of.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe I'm tracking like the bigger names that I
Yeah.
know, or okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And because I can only think about like Rod, Adam Peterman.
like Dan Green's a guy who was like up there at the beginning.
Mhm.
I think he finished like back half of the teens.
Yeah.
Well,
But he was like up in the front, like with
Yeah,
you guys
Yeah.
for 20
Yeah.
miles.
okay.
I think he may have ended up like 11th or 12th.
No.
Yeah.
He did end up well.
Yeah.
11th or 13th,
That
maybe.
wasn't Abby. Like, I don't know.
Or man.
Okay.
11th or 12th
Yeah.
man, yeah.
I think that maybe you're talking about string being.
Well, dude, because
Stringbean
Hannes
also
was
had a
11th.
decent race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways.
Irregardless. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Man,
But dude,
such a fun race.
Super fun.
Well,
what this is it, so we have three top 10s in
True.
Western
Wait,
States.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I don't have
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
3 out of 5 people in the Boulder Boys
Yeah.
have done a top 10 at Western State.
yeah.
Yeah, it is funny because I still do think place is more important than time at this race. So it's funny having the fastest time but the worst position because I do think like Drew's third. Like I'd rather have gotten third in 16 hours than have
Yeah.
gotten sixth in 14:59, or like you're fourth. It's like I'd rather have gotten fourth in 15:20.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how that like is.
Do you think you have another hour on you?
Yeah, I mean, I cooked.
You have at least
20
a half hour.
I cooked
Yeah.
25 minutes walking.
Yeah.
I looked and I was like, if I just ran under 10-minute pace for these downhill flat miles, where I was walking, I would have been third or fourth.
So if you have another hour on you, you're running under 13 next year, or whenever you
Oh,
decide, or whenever
That's a
you
good
decided
point.
to
I
come
don't know if I
back.
have another hour. Okay, like 40 minutes.
Hey, Chris Meyer literally ran an hour and some minutes faster than his debut.
Yeah.
Just saying. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's true. But to that point about like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10s, right? With Drew, because Drew had 2.
Three people and
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
results
so
and 3 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I finished.
You
You
did.
did
Yes.
finish.
And so did
On a
Adam
really
Peterman,
tough
dude.
Dude, I was
Sick.
gonna say.
Yeah.
It's
I was
like
gonna say that.
finishing is
Incredible.
cool.
Oh yeah, I'm not
no,
absolutely.
I'm just saying,
absolutely.
like,
yeah.
To Adam Peterman's story, it's
Yeah.
like I didn't have the day I was capable of, but like his wheels fell off at 55 miles, dude.
Yeah.
And he fucking hiked it in.
Dude, I think Adam Peterman deserves a shout out for being a better man than most people. And he's won the thing. He had no reason. Like, I literally was like, if I won, I don't know if I'm ever coming back to this race. He came back, had no reason to finish, tried to drop out 3 times, had great people tell him not to, and just walked it in for slightly below 24 hours. Like, if you told me at any point, if you told me at Forest Hill that I wouldn't be done till 4 a.m., I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But
I
he,
was
like, put respect
blown
on the
away.
race, put respect towards like just the whole sport in general,
Yeah.
and finish the thing.
and all the other people who are going to take 30 hours,
Totally.
you know, or
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Totally.
I feel like for a champion to do that is like,
That's mega.
that's respect.
respect.
That's
Yep.
actually honoring the race instead of
100%.
just saying, oh, it's just this race of honor it,
100%.
you know?
I might not, if that happened to me, I might not do. Don't put that expectation on me, people. But it was very impressive. I was, proud of him, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
Dude, what
it was fun.
a day.
It was fun. Also, our camera's like leaning, and it's kinda
People are
fun.
going to love that. We can fix that in post, dude.
Sure, I'll
Yeah,
rotate it. That's
yeah.
a good point. Editing skills.
How, like, any anecdotes or something that you guys would like to share from your experience?
Man, I
Like-
feel like the race was cool. A lot of experiences, but dude, the whole weekend, the trip, like we had some of the best pizza I think I've ever had in my life. Adam's obviously gonna say it was the best pizza he's ever had in his life. It was so good.
Go look at my carousel.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want a summary of our weekend, check
That
out
carousel
Adam's
was
post.
sick.
It was so good. That sums it all up, dude. It was just like one of the most fun weekends
It was a fun
I've
weekend.
had. I mean, we have a lot of fun. I mean, anytime we go on trips, we have fun.
Yeah.
But that was like a special weekend, man. I won't forget it. It was kind of like when we went and we crewed Adam 2 years ago. It was like
Yeah.
the same thing. Just
yeah.
moment I won't forget. Like I cried just like I cried after Adam's race. Like, you know, it's just like it's
Dude.
really cool when you spend so much time
Uh-huh.
prepping for something, thinking about it, and then it happens, and it's like you take a deep breath at the end of it. And it's like, man, that was cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I do
yeah.
remember crying when Adam finished.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, and I cried when you finished. It's just like you get so wrapped up in the person's day that you're supporting. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's hard not to. Whether they're like cracking 15 hours or finishing. I bet all of Adam's crew cried. Adam
Oh, for
Peterman's
sure.
crew.
Yeah.
I cried
Finishing in
thinking
under
about
4
it. When,
Yeah.
when somebody told me in the next
Crazy.
morning, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Dude, the
That's
one
crazy.
thing, like anecdote from me maybe is like, man, like I think probably everyone who crewed or was part of someone's day can relate. You are fried after crewing someone, dude. Like, and I didn't run 100 miles, but like, I like roasted in the heat all day and like ate random stuff and then like immediately started running Seth's pace. Like, I think probably every pacer can relate to like, I know you can. It's just like 0 to like, I'm racing now. And like, the few days leading up to it, you're like not getting great sleep. You're preparing all the details. So like our flight got delayed and then like we had to get
Canceled,
hotels
yeah.
and like fly back really early to Boulder. And I was cooked the whole next day, dude. Like
Yeah.
couldn't even do anything. So it's a lot of work, but totally worth it. But
Yeah.
Definitely.
shout out to crews, you know? It's
Yeah.
like,
No, yeah. Shout out to these guys and the rest of my crew. It was, I was gonna say it was crazy. Like I haven't ever felt like that much of a diva. Like you guys did everything for me. I literally like the day before, I just laid on the couch and they were like doing everything for me. and then the whole race and like crewing and everything, it was like, yeah. So thank you.
As it
was
should be,
huge.
dude.
Your parents are rock stars, dude. I had a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good time hanging out with them.
They
over
took
the
care of
weekend.
us.
Yeah, they
Okay, good.
did an amazing
Yes.
Good.
job. You know, with their roles, and yeah, I had a good time hanging out. with them.
Okay, good. Good. I saw some videos of them running across the field. Like when I came into the gate and they were running across, it was so cute and kind of funny at the same time.
So
They
cute.
were very proud. Man.
Yeah.
The coolest moment was like at the beginning when they first saw you come through Robinson Flat. I just
Oh yeah.
I took a moment to like look at them
Mm-hmm.
to like just soak up their
Yeah.
emotion and stuff. Dude,
That's
it was
cool.
Yeah.
That's
One
cool.
last thing. Can't believe we haven't mentioned it. Dylan, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Lugging
goodness.
heavy ass camera gear,
Dude.
all the same places we were.
He may have slept 90 minutes that whole trip.
And he's like uploading his footage and doing all this stuff. It's like
And sleeping on the couch.
sleep. Yeah.
Incredible, man.
What a
hero-
trooper.
A hero.
Yeah, dude. The footage from that. He was editing it a little bit last night. It's gonna be sweet.
Some good
The
stuff.
video is gonna be cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, yeah, like he's like in the car doing an interview with me on like literally the curviest road. I'm like, I'm getting car sick out, and he's like turned like this. He's so dedicated and
Yeah.
stoked to be a part of like your day and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool, dude.
Yeah, huge. He's so good.
I
at what he
can't
does.
wait to see the footage that Big D is gonna put out.
Yeah, it'll be sick. A big D production.
Hey.
Real quick, just since we mentioned it earlier, what was your heat training, man? Because like it
Oh.
worked.
Yeah, I didn't heat train all that crazy. I did a hodgepodge of stuff, but mainly sauna'd. I sauna'd a bunch for Black Canyon
So in February.
in February and ran and I'd wore
So that's in the bank.
So that's in the bank.
So
Great job,
actually, he was sounding like December and January
Yeah.
yeah, and
consistently.
Yeah.
I'd warm up with the sweatsuit on in the gym.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? Because the gym's not that hot.
Actually,
but then
yeah, the gym is cooler.
once it came to getting ready for states, I bought a sauna off mat. So I'd get on that thing like 3 times a week,
Okay.
just for 30 minutes. So I found if I was in the sauna without, like just with shorts on and no shirt, it would take me like 45 minutes to an hour to feel like I was really sweating. Dude, hack, I would put on like rain pants, jacket, get in the sauna, start sweating immediately. 30 minutes in there.
Oh, nice.
And then like most of May, I would warm up for workouts outside in like a sweatsuit and cool down in like just a hoodie and pants, like a normal sweatsuit. Got real sweaty and hot. And then I think the biggest thing for me that helped was 2 weeks before going to States, it was super hot here. And so I like did a long run with Moy, and then
Did the state feel like hotter than that day?
no. And then the Grand Canyon day was hot too.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon. That's right.
But I do feel like it just being hot here and me running at 5 p.m. when it was 90 degrees, or
Yeah.
waiting till 11 a.m. to do my run, just in regular heat, without like a heat suit, without a sensor or anything.
Just
Worked pretty
active
well.
heat training.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
kind of like you're hot when you feel hot. I don't think you inherently need to force it to be heat adapted. And I never felt that hot during the race. Like you're always wet, you always have ice. It's like heat is a factor, and it was a kind of hot year, but it wasn't at no point. Like there's some stale bits where like you're climbing up and it's a little stale, you feel warm, but then I just like touch my ice in my bandana, like it just like it was cold, so you're like, oh, it's not that bad. I don't know, it just wasn't that hot. Like, to 100% honesty, it's hot, but when you're soaked in ice and stuff, it's not that bad. I still stand by, I think fitness is like the thing to focus on for these.
Yeah.
I mean, when Jim set the course record, I don't believe in his build up he was like wearing a core suit or doing any of that
No,
stuff.
he would just drive
Just
with
running in the heat.
He's running the heat,
Yeah.
running the Grand Canyon, maybe drive in his beat up Tacoma without air conditioning.
Yeah. I think Hans did that too.
Dude, I think low key when everybody was talking about heat training, I was like, I bet you Hans is just inherently the most adapted, because I know noon in Georgia. It's been 90
hot.
degrees with 100% humidity
And
since
he's living in a
April.
trailer, dog. You know?
Yeah.
Probably no AC in that thing. you know?
Yeah. Dude, heat. He doesn't even know what it's doing around Hans,
Dude.
So,
Well, yeah, low tech. It worked.
And I think it's like kind of your approach to training and like heat training. It's just like nothing special, no crazy sensors, just building
Mhm.
fitness. And I felt that like a lot of people was like we had the impression that a lot of people going into this race will be like complicating things too much.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, just like simple, good old school, consistent training, no injuries,
Yep.
and some heat stimulus. It's perfect for sub 15. And it's clearly your fitness will take you to run even faster.
Yeah, for sure. And dude, I think the mental side is also huge. Like I felt so calm and relaxed, and like
That's
when I threw
That's
up,
crazy.
it was kind of like
Yeah.
It is crazy
Yeah.
to feel calm
mean-
and relaxed in that field,
I
yeah,
mean, there was points. I mean, yeah, when I picked you up, we were 100K in.
Yeah.
We were just having a conversation, no different than any conversation we've had on like the long run together.
Mhm.
It blew my mind how at ease you were
yeah,
and the paces we were running.
yeah. I don't know. I think that helps. I think it helps make everything else feel
Yeah.
easier.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very zen like.
Easy.
dude.
Oh,
So proud.
all right. Well, what are we? 2-3 days post States?
Yeah.
You're like walking around like normal, dude.
Dude, I'm not even sore. I went for a 45-minute run. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm just tired though. Is it about to die?
No, we're good.
No, we're good.
It just went into night mode.
Nice. Nope, don't even feel that bad. But I felt terrible yesterday. So like super tired. My I was telling them like breathing muscles kind of felt really tired and painful actually. And like it was tough to walk upstairs and all this. Slept well last night and I feel pretty good. So
Sorry. Skeeters out here, dude.
Yeah,
I know.
Crazy.
I know. I thought
Apologies
the
for knocking
dryness
the
would-
mic.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to. Can we like preview what happened today for you?
Yeah, because they'll come out after it's released.
Okay, dude. Everything happens for a reason, dude. All in due time.
Yeah. Dude,
You were on another pod.
I was on another pod this morning. I was on the Coffee Club pod. Yeah. Shout out to them.
I wish
Yeah.
we could push the button, but it's too far.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
wait,
too
no. Let's come on. It deserves that.
It deserves an
It
air
does
horn.
deserve it.
There we go. Yay.
All right. Yeah, I was on the Coffee Club pod this morning. Crazy how life happens. I guess somebody shared on the Discord that Tom Wang, the manager or whatever.
I don't know
Nobody knows
Tom
that.
playing, but
He's the manager. He's not part of them. He lives in like New York, I think. I know exactly. He
They
lives
have
in
a
New York.
manager?
Yeah. He like runs their
Paquito,
Instagram
you
want to
be the manager?
And pretty much on the, I think it was him who wrote it. It was pretty much like whoever comes in first between Seth or David, we're gonna have on, and it was me, and I was like, yes, because David's already been on the pod, you know.
hell
It
yeah.
was my turn, so yeah, super cool, good guys.
Was it everything you thought it would be?
I don't know. It's funny, like it's one of those things where like you listen to something and you're like, I love listening to this, and then you're in it, and I'm like, I would hate to listen to me talk on this podcast right now. So,
Well, we can't wait to hear it, man.
Did
Yes.
they have coffee?
dude, they did have coffee, and I said no, and then Jordy brought down this tray with like 3 cortados.
You said no to coffee?
I said no to coffee because I just come from I don't know. I didn't want him to. I didn't want
Blacked
him to,
out, dude. Like, you
He
never
said
say no to coffee.
in the coffee club.
What did Western States do to you, man?
It's like, what?
I didn't want him to have to make me coffee. I felt bad, but anyway, should be cool. I feel like it'll be a good pod, maybe.
I can't wait.
But I was
to see it.
very self-conscious about what I was saying,
Of course.
and I
Yeah.
had things to say about the Bowerman Mile because they were talking about it. But I was like, no, this isn't my pod. I'm just gonna sit back on this one.
Yeah.
But
Dude, so stoked because that's like the original inspiration for our pod.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
a lot of the
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
aesthetic came from them.
Maybe they'll listen to this. Who
That's
knows?
cool. Yeah.
Hopefully.
We watched their pod the night before the race.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was cool. So yeah, maybe you listen to that and then you'll listen to this the next day or something.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. So cool.
Yeah.
Dreams are going true,
It's crazy. Life is
It's just the
feels very
first
fast
door
right
that
now.
opened after M6, dude. Who knows what's next?
Dude. I will say though, like I was because I said on their pod, I was like, it's tough to make a career out of 50Ks, like particularly for me, where it's like I can't win OCC, like straight up, like I can't podium OCC.
I mean, you won
kind of
Canyons, beat Eli and Matt. So.
Yeah.
I think you
But-
can. I think you can, but
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm pretty sure Eli won OCC.
yeah, no, you definitely can, but I think you have to be good. And like I'm out here getting I'm out here getting like so much love for
no
six
coffee.
all I'm saying.
What is you trying to say?
You
All-
just ran 100 miles, okay? It's still like
yeah,
okay,
sink it in.
all
The brain that has no glucose to
Okay.
process.
All I was saying is like if you're Eli, if you're Matt, if you're Fran, you can make a career out of 50Ks because you're in the top 3 every single one you show up at.
right.
If you get 6th every 50K you show up at,
Totally.
you're unsponsored, you're off the back.
Right.
States is like one of those only races where you get 6th and it feels like you won the thing.
Dude, totally.
Because you will have won any other race in the planet that day.
Yeah,
It's true.
That's
And that's
Except
that's
for
the
50
weekend.
I would not have won a 50K that day.
You will probably have won Mont Blanc Marathon. Was same weekend.
I
Oh
bet.
yeah.
I bet, dude. Yeah, honestly.
Freaking.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to say. The 6th place, I feel like I'm getting more attention than I deserve for it.
No.
But
no, dude,
no.
it's like epic.
And
aim 6
historically
Technical
fast debut. Like Scott Jurek was talking to us after the race, and he was
Yeah.
like, I think he was saying it's got to be a top
Second.
20 time.
Oh, yeah.
all time period. I don't know if that's true, but
I
he
think
was
it's
like,
gotta be.
he said
I
that.
think
Yeah.
so.
Probably the second fastest.
Don't quote us, but,
yeah, on
know.
any of this. Probably the second fastest debut time.
I
I think
think so.
third, right? Because it was
Oh well,
Jeff was his debut.
and then John Alvin, but John Alvin did a obstacle course 100.
Top
so
five.
do we count that?
But
Yeah.
it's kind
Well-
of confusing because Jeff has done a 100-miler before, so it's
You-
not their
You
like
had the fastest debut, second fastest debut 100, but the third or fourth fastest debut Western States.
yeah,
I think,
which I
or
think
something
debut
like that.
Western States.
What
makes
about
more-
the fastest debut Western state of somebody from Tennessee who lives in Boulder?
That would be Seth.
All
Gotta
right.
be
me?
number one.
Yeah, number
Nailed
one, number one in something out here.
With blonde hair.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's some ESPN stat right there.
Hey,
That's what they
I'm
pull out
watching.
on I don't know, Sports
Also-
Center when they're running out of things to talk about.
shout out to Dylan Bowman, Debo, and the live stream. Half of the things he say sometimes are wrong, but he has Corinne there to correct him.
He's
and
talking
the,
for 16 hours.
and
you
the
know?
dynamic is so good, dude. It's like so fun. He will be like, "Oh my god, Des Linden is pacing this person," and Corinne's like, "No, she's pacing this other person. It's still amazing." It's like, it was just hilarious, so involved, so much energy. It was great. At some point, they were replaced by the 2 other people, and I was like, "Oh." I mean, not that these people was bad, but it's like he and Corinne has such a cool dynamic,
Yeah,
and it's so well balanced. Dude. Like I watched probably 10 hours of the 16 hours or 15 hours live stream, never got bored.
They're goated on
They are-
live stream broadcasting.
sure.
So good.
it is like
so good.
it is like you have the energy and you have the expert.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I feel like Devo, like in theory, is an expert, but for live streaming, he's just the energy.
I think his
And
mind
Corinne's
is
like-
yeah.
Corinne's the one over here, like with the facts.
I think Dylan's brain just like it's like jumping in many places,
100%.
and but he is deeply excited about everything. Like at some point, Rod is getting to the air station before the river, I think. And Dylan is just like literally saying like, "Don't sit, don't sit, don't sit." Like he's building that tension, and then Rod sits, and Dylan is like, "Oh my gosh, she's gonna be okay. We don't want our boy to sit." You know, he's
Oh
like,
wow.
you are really
Man.
feeling it.
It's kind of sucks because I didn't see any of the live stream.
Yeah.
Like we listened to it a little
Mhm,
bit
a
in the
little
car, but it's like
It's so early too.
20 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's such a great broadcast.
And
Maybe I'll
the-
go back and watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
I was watching a little bit last night.
Nice.
Nice.
Then
You
it got
should.
a little long, and so I turned it off.
But dude, to in Debo's defense, he was doing Broken Arrow live streaming and then interviews all week. That dude's fried, you know?
absolutely,
Right.
yeah. And also, like, that's how he is. He's just like excited, and I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not that what he said was wrong at all.
No.
It's just like sometimes he would like mix up things, which
Yes.
it makes total sense. But just shout out to like the great work they did. It like really was entertaining to follow a 100-mile race for so long. Great work, both of them. Great
Huge.
balance. You know, like they
Yeah.
are like a power team.
Yes.
Great balance.
You know who else did good work through the weekend? Your boy Scott Jurek.
Oh my
Did not
gosh.
miss. Did not miss.
He was too good, too quick,
Too
and
good.
too good.
Yeah.
I think it's
Crazy.
Like at this point, I don't even know if it's real.
I
Like,
think
it's so
it's probably
so
like
funny.
a 15 people team.
It's so good.
I mean,
know?
yeah. Every single thing you put out.
He was so good, and it was kind of like, oh, that's true. That's accurate.
How do you feel being featured on it?
Oh, I mean, dude, we're all kind of featured on it. I don't know who that guy is. I want to know.
That's
Yeah, I
the
don't-
singer of The Offspring, or not?
Yeah.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very
Wait,
cool.
who?
Well, the
The guy
picture,
with the blonde hair.
I think that's the singer of like a band called The Offspring, which is like a punk rock band.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
I just love how. I mean, the whole thing was they do and they edit stuff so fast.
What did Corinne say at the end of Seth's race? We're sitting over there and she's like, Seth is such a turd. He makes everything look cool. Like he can bleach his hair and still look cool. He can walk for 30 minutes and still go under 15 minutes. How cool. What a turd. Like,
Yeah.
Dude,
she's just going on and on and on.
that's
about
funny. Well,
it.
I don't know.
It checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
What else? I'm getting eaten out here,
Yeah,
dude.
they're eating. I don't know what's
The
happening.
skeeters came out.
Anything else on the home front?
Dude, no, we are all tuning to what you were doing in the weekend, honestly,
Yeah.
and you and Drew, honestly.
Yeah.
Excited
Yeah, we'll get
to,
Drew's
Yeah.
play-by-play next time.
Yeah, I'm excited to get that.
I was surprised that it was like a close. He was like 2/3, 1/2. It wasn't a gift. They were
That was
racing.
cool.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. Oh, also, shout out Ben Dima, dude.
Oh, yeah.
American runner.
Is he actually American though?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from the US. He lives in France.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaks very good French.
I feel like he's lived in France as long as I've ever heard of him.
Well, dude, hey.
I'm just kidding. We like Ben. It's
No, dude.
kind of an American name.
Not only he won Laredo, he ran an extremely quick time, 11:40. That's insane.
That's really
That
good.
is insanely fast. It may be
good.
the record. I don't know. Shout out, like crazy.
Yeah.
And also, like you guys from the US, you have to give love to the athletes that live outside. Poor Katie, she was winning everything outside the US, living in France, and it took her to come and win Western States and like a bunch of things for you guys to pay some respect.
Hey, we
No,
paid respect
hey.
because she won UTMB. And to be fair, she was winning stuff, but it wasn't stuff. She
But
won
she was-
stuff when she won UTMB.
No, I mean, dude, but like she was winning.
It's like me
Good.
winning Maxi race. It's like I won something, but it wasn't
Ben Demon gets respect,
stuff.
dude.
No,
You know?
I mean,
Like Katie.
I insist. I like hold my position.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. It's the wrong red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. It's almost 4th of July. Go America. Just kidding. I know we got.
I'm never racing outside the US again.
No.
Yeah.
But like real quick before we leave, the amount of support and fans that came up to us this
Oh, yeah.
weekend, and we even got some swag from some people.
Dude, I totally
What?
forgot to bring the coffee
Yeah,
beans.
coffee and wine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I met so many people. I'm so sorry I don't remember all your names, but Adam and I were sitting at Forest Hill for like 2 hours waiting for Seth to come through, and in that 2 hours, I don't think we had 30 seconds that were alone.
Yep.
Just of people
That's
coming
cool.
up in Boulderboy gear and like saying their
That's
fans
cool.
that traveled from all over just to watch the race. Like, dude, it was a special weekend for that.
It was really cool. There was
Yeah.
one lady I remember came up. She like lived somewhat nearby, didn't know anyone in the race, would just listens to the pod, doesn't trail run, and was like had a Boulder Boys You're the Boy shirt on,
She's in
No
there at the
way.
finish,
and was like,
dude.
I just wanted to come like maybe meet you guys here. So
Yeah.
like
Oh my
it was
god.
so
incredible.
cool.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
That's
hey,
so cool.
thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
She was
So
even
cool.
at the finish. It was so cool.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
think I don't know. I wasn't there during that conversation, but there was somebody who had a "You're the Boy" shirt and was kind of like looking at me, and I think she was like kind of shy to say something, and I was like, "Yo!" Like anybody with the shirt or any merch, it was like
Yeah.
you're getting the high
Yes.
five, and
It was special. It was cool.
it was very
Wow.
cool.
super.
Dude.
Yeah,
So if you want to get a high five from us, you gotta wear merch.
you gotta buy it, dude. But we're straight sold out.
Yeah.
Dude,
straight
we'll
sold out
have to do
on-
another drop,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
Or
something.
another
Maybe
design.
maybe
That's,
we have
what, that's what I'm saying.
maybe
yeah,
every
we have
quarter or something.
we have some designs,
and we
in
have
the-
we have races
in the
coming
queue.
up. You have something coming up.
Yeah, the speed goat.
Is it
Maybe.
like 2 weeks?
3. But yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
3 weeks is a good.
Yeah.
Gotta be- How was you
It's the
thinking?
26th, so
All
a
right.
long 3 weeks.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like 4 weeks.
Nice.
almost a month.
Yeah. Hey, it's like
I need
basic-
every day of it.
between now and then, dude. But that's amazing. Like living that.
It was cool.
thank you everybody
We have the best
for all the
fans.
love. I was like dropping some emojis, some baby emojis, and people will like cut up right into. You can check in the live stream chat. There is like probably many.
I'm not sure if you
can replay it. You have to turn it on, but
okay.
I'll show you.
'Cause I want to see it, but I think it comes up in live, like as the race is going.
Yeah.
Yes,
right.
It does.
Yeah.
So you'd have to kind of
To like
watch all 16 hours.
I mean, it's more like 16, more like 20. I don't know.
Is it really?
I mean, they probably stay until the like F10. So
Yes,
I don't know,
that's
like
true.
18 hours. I don't know how long it took the top 10
Something
lady.
like that.
Yeah. Also, another huge shout out to Abby Hall from like
YOTG, dude.
injury
Yeah. What a
and
story.
getting in off of a pregnancy deferral to just winning the thing.
Julianne
Crazy.
asked me what some of my favorite.
YOTG.
Yeah, you're the girl. What some of my favorite storylines were other than yours, and it was like definitely hers, dude. So
Crazy.
inspirational. And honestly, for me, Chris Myers, dude.
Yeah.
Like shout out, you know.
Yeah.
A very small. you
Even
know.
small boys can win big.
Whatever he did that day, dude. Whatever he did that day is like world class.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy.
Next level, and he picked me up from the airport, man,
Next
when I got
level.
into
Good
town.
dude.
So
Yeah.
a solid homie.
Tip of the hat to Caleb Salt Lake. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, you got one on us, but
Got
Yeah.
one on us.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
also to be fair, Caleb is innocent in this whole thing. Me and
Dude,
Caleb
yeah.
were talking. He's innocent in the whole Salt Lake
We're all
battle.
innocent. It's
Yeah.
really just Mike McMonigal and Finn stirring the freaking pot.
And
so.
Tyler, dude. I feel like
Yeah.
Tyler.
Oh, and
will
Tyler's
tell
getting
someone.
after it, dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Tyler,
Alright.
he
We're
got
all just out
a-
here
yeah.
minding our own business, you know.
Yeah. Tyler got a top 10 in Laredo.
He did, yeah.
Nine.
Congrats, Tyler.
He ran like the time that I ran.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2015 or something like that. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Dude, Year of the Boy, live on.
You're
Stay
the
tuned for
boy.
more.
There's more. It's only halfway through. Oh, next episode we'll have to do our second quarter review.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Or you got like all the you got all the freaking
But we don't talk about me. We can talk about everybody else. 'cause
Mm.
I like
Great
the,
point, dude.
I like the.
we
I
have
like
to talk
the
about
Q2.
everybody,
It's
including
gonna
you.
be a-
H1
That's gonna
review
be
time coming up.
Episode favorite.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're,
Oh,
we're
man.
about to POPOFF.
Yeah.
You kind of
Oh, God, here
we're
we
gonna
go.
continue to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I don't know. Anything else?
We love you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
And to all a good night. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Episode 50.
Namaste.
Boulderboys
Peace.
Show.
Bye.
Bye.